Hello and welcome back to Classic Mini Restoration with me, Mini Tom. So apologies, it has been months now since I uploaded anything to YouTube. I basically just lost my mojo. I've started a new job, I've had loads of DIY around the house to do. Lots of things going on. So in terms of time on the Mini, it's been sort of hit and miss here and there, and getting into a rhythm of actually filming it and showing you it, it's been a bit difficult. I've got loads of stuff filmed that I sort of put together, but I'm not really happy with how it's turned out, and I probably can't remember how much I've actually got of what bits. So in this video I'm just going to do a quick update of where I'm up to, sort of how I got to this stage. In the next video you'll see will be me fitting the scuttle panel. So for those that didn't know, I have cut the front end off. It was annoying me. There was a few reasons for that, and I'll explain that in the clips that I have filmed, because obviously the panels are still on the car. I found quite a lot of hidden issues which I didn't know was there up until doing it, so they've all been resolved. And yeah, so what I'll do is I'll give you a really quick run through of where I'm at now, and then I'll show you some videos of how I got to this stage. First thing, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Hart, Mr. DJSE. He sent me this t-shirt, I sorted him out with something, and he's repaid me. He also sent it with the head gasket video, which you saw ages ago, but yeah, I haven't got around to it. So if you want to go and see a Mini, a Mercedes Vito van and a Fiesta sit in a garage and do nothing, go and check out his channel. But no, in all seriousness, Alex is a great guy, it's a great channel, and he's got 3 projects on the go. Go and check him out, give him a like, subscribe, and watch his channel. So, you may notice that my front end is currently sat there and there. That's purely because I didn't like how the front end was fitting. On the video I'll explain that there was filler all up in here, filler down the seams, filler on the front panel. It all started cracking. The wings, I'll show you quickly. I mean, you can see still got the paint, and there's no rust on them as such. These on the ends now because I've had to cut them off basically, but both wings, the bonnet was scabby, both wings and the front panel are all new. You can probably see the transit paint just there. So yeah, they was all new, and it's a massive shame that when they did them, 1, they put them on so badly, and 2, they didn't change the scuttle, because the scuttle is currently sat down there. You can see quite rusty. So this is a genuine scuttle. This is a Mini Spares heavy duty A panel. That one I may change on that side as well yet. I'm still thinking about that one. It's not too bad, but I'm thinking if I'm changing them, I might as well change them as a pair. I mean, not too expensive. Inner wings, a lot of work's going into that one. There's still some work to do on the other side. And the wings that are going on it are going to be genuine heritage wings. That front panel's going to go back on. I'm going to have to make it fit. So my original plan was to keep them wings on it, and I could buy some paint and paint the whole car. That's now changed. I'm not happy with how they fit. I've cleaned them up, I've dolled the edges, and I'm still not happy with how they fit at the front end down here. So there's a change of plan. They're going to get binned, and I'm getting genuine wings. So in terms of the inner wings, this one in particular has been an absolute pain. You can see here, that whole thing there is a panel that I've put in. Goes all the way to the top up here. So what had happened, obviously there's a vent there. I still need to cut that hole, but there's a vent there. That had been repaired at some point with a smaller patch, and then somebody had put an even bigger patch on it, which covered, you know, just around here. And then somebody had welded the inside as well. So it was just like 4 repair panels on top of rust, because we didn't even cut it out. So that's all been completely cut out and redone. Yep, you might think them welds are a bit shoddy. Yeah, they're not shoddy. I just haven't ground them back too much, because you're not going to see this part. It's going to be covered in understeel and stone chip, and the strength is in the weld. So that's why you can still see a little bit of it. I've not gone too crazy. I just don't feel there's a need to. But it's been spot welded up here, spot welded down here. It's been obviously MIG welded all the way around the tops and the sides and all down here. So that is nice and strong. There's also been a repair panel going down here. I did grind that one back quite well actually. But it basically comes, where here? Come over here, focus. It comes all the way down here, along there, down to the floor and up and across. And it also falls round into the returned edge. So that's all new metal, because again, somebody put a big massive repair panel over rust, and it just completely knackered it. So It's all been cut out and redone. That's been welded there, horrifically. I may cut that out, but it does feel fairly strong, to be totally honest. Where else are we? Small repair just here where I cut through it to get my front panel off. Same story down here. That's actually a new piece, is that, because I've cut through quite a lot of it, and I thought rather than trying to plug it all up, just cut that bit out and weld a bit in. And it had also been repaired here, I thought, but it hadn't. What had happened, and it's quite a common thing, because this side you can't get to your brake union, what they used to do in the garages as a quick fix to get to your brake union is cut a slit up here, slit up there, and fold it back or whatever. So it's actually stops here. So there's just a weld there. So I can tell that's been pulled out of the way and then pushed back and welded back in. It looked horrific, and I thought it's a horrible repair panel, but actually it's not. It had just not been ground back. They've just welded it and it looked like that. So I've ground that weld back and it now looks nice. Yep, there's a bit of damage to that flange there. I'm not too fussed about that. It doesn't really do anything anyway. So yeah, probably could have done with some inner wings, but again, any money that I spend on this side of things takes away from everything else because I can't afford to do it. So I've tried to where I can keep, you know, what I can and salvage it. Right way, wrong way, that's the way I'm doing it. That's that. In terms of the actual bulkhead, that's all sound. There's a bit of rust down there you can see on the top dash rail. Same story here, it's not too bad. So that's probably going to get cut out. A piece made, flanged and then spot welded to it. It's not structural in this. I mean, you can see it's, if that's structural, I'll eat my hat. It is purely spot welded and there's like an inch of MIG down here. So again, it's 50 quid. I could do with keeping that, really. Right, so as you can see, I haven't got too bad of a shut line there. It's quite nice. Opens up massively here, as you can see. And then again, it's not too bad here, but it does rise up. You can't see it on the camera, but it does rise up quite a bit. Never been happy with it. Same sort of thing down the front here, you can see there. It sticks out. Now, obviously, it's sticking out because it doesn't go back far enough here. But whenever I've tried to adjust it in the past, it catches. And it always either catches here, or it catches along here. So I've never been able to get it exactly right. This bonnet sort of fits because I've bent it. I don't know if you can see. You can see it sort of raised there. I had to bend it a bit to get it to sort of push back a bit. But obviously I didn't want to go too mad with it. Bonnet itself, rusty, horrible mess. Like I said, the wings are alright. And the scuttle, spongy. Really spongy. You can see it's been filled. Same story here. Being filled. Rusty. And you can see there, that's why you never fill it, because it starts to look like that. Now that's a bit suspect there, not too sure about that. But the other side, and you can see it cracking, it's just silly. But all the front end is new. What else? That's another thing. That's been filled. So getting them off is going to be a nightmare, but they need to come off. So, hang on, proper test. Got my MOT stick, screwdriver. Look at that. It's pretty much going straight through there, so there's going to be some repairs to do. But that is what we're dealing with. Right, so that'll be easy to get off anyway. The wings are going to be a pain because I don't know how they've been fitted. They might have been plugged. Hopefully they've been spot welded. If they've been plugged, it's been a nightmare. But we'll get into that. So first thing I'm going to do is try and get the bonnet fitted nicer, then we'll go from there. Right, I just thought I'd check in, give you a bit of a progress update. So in terms of the front end, it was welded. I mean, you can see it horribly welded here. So it was welded there. Nothing at all here. So that was all nothing, just a bit of tiger seal. You can see from the lips there's nothing there. I had a little bit of a a spot there which I cut through with the hacksaw. A little bit of weld here, just literally that much. Obviously that bit's not attached. I'm changing this air panel, so what they've done is they've actually welded the seams together on the outside. I hate when people do that. Why not just plug weld it? But anyway, that's what they've done. So rather than try and, you know, cut through all that because it'll mess up this edge, I've just cut the air panel. Where are we? There. That's ready to come off. You can see it won't really fix there. Seam strips off. That's not in too bad condition. That's obviously not attached. So there. This side, it looks like they've done a few plugs here and there. You can see they've drilled holes for plugs. Where are we? Just there. So they have drilled some holes to do plugs, but they wasn't plugged. I forgot them. So every now and again, I found a little plug, so I just drill them out. For the most part, I've just cut up there. It's very outside of the seam. It looks like they've just literally ran weld on the very edge of the seam. So I've just got to get up here now. This is the only bit now. It's kind of holding me on this top bit, so I'm gonna get my die grinder and just cut up there, and then it should come off. So I've just found a big hole there, which has just been a patch over rust basically. So I'm a bit peed with that, but it's not too bad. I can cut the patch out and just properly do it. The bit that I am a bit annoyed with, obviously this bit here is annoyed because it wasn't, you know, that's not welded there. Alright, fair enough, one person's come and done it and they've done a bad job, and I think that's all been repaired badly. You can see it's had a weld here before. It's been battered around here a bit. That's not been welded on the best. I can live with that sort of stuff. You know, I think that's going to need a new panel here, but we'll see. The bit that's really annoying me, that I've just found, the wings are different from side to side. However, they've been fitted exactly the same, which is what's really winding me up, because, you know, I want this car to be safe. I take my kids out in this car, and you can see there, it's been welded there, tiny little bit of weld there. It stops here, you know, that's soft. There's no weld there, no weld here, no weld here, no weld, and you can see the gaps. I mean, they've not cared, they've just filled it. The amount of filler that's come out of that, maybe 1.5 inches. Can you see it? That's it. That's all that's holding this front panel onto the wings. It's just, I mean, as I say, I take my kids out in this car. That's past an MOT, and, you know, rightly so, there's no rust there, there's no corrosion, it looks like it's a good joint. You would never know. But when you get into it, when you get into the crux of it, you think, what was the person thinking that put this back on the road? I know what everyone's going to say. Oh, well, if it weren't for the bodge jobs, there wouldn't be many of them left. I get that. I understand that. And I'm thankful that, you know, some things did get cheated a bit so that things got through. But when you think the whole front of this car is there to stop the engine from squashing you, and it's been put on that badly, you just think, you know, I've had my kids in the front of this car. I'm sat in the front of it. If I had a bump, I'm relying on the front end to take that shock so that the engine and the steering column don't squash me. And yet, nothing's attached. So the only thing that's going to hit me is the engine and the steering column. It just, I'm a bit upset with it, to be honest with you. And this is the sort of thing that you're going to find if you're going to start tackling your car. You're going to find that somebody has put panels on, and they might have done a really good job. They might be mediocre, they might be really poor. This, to me, is really poor. It makes my life easier to take it off, but that shouldn't be the case. I'd rather struggle with it, like, you know, I'd rather struggle now with it, and it would have been safe all that time. That's a scary thing. So this was literally up to here, full of filler. So I've got a lot of that filler out. You can probably see there, that's the original inner wing. You can see it's bent, obviously holes in it. This basically just covered it. And I mean, it's a nasty repair, because what they've done is they've got a bit of tin, they've slitted down it and just whacked it into shape, and it's all sort of creased and mangled along here. Now whether that's creased and mangled because of a bump, possibly, or whether it's more to do with how they've fitted it, so they probably just tacked it in a few places and then got a lump hammer and smacked it into place, because it is quite a complex curve to replicate, where you've got a curve going that way and then a curve going that way. Possibly that, but in any case, it's a crappy repair, isn't it? Right, so I've been working away. I've got the upper dash rail out. That's scabby underneath it, but I think I can probably repair parts of it. It's only in the corners. I'll show that in a second. What I have been doing, I mentioned the driver's side flitch was looking like it was bent, possibly in a crash. I don't think that's the case actually. I think it's just been a bad repair on top of a bad repair. So this is what I've had to do to get the first bit out. That was a flat, well, sort of flat piece. I had to absolutely mangle it. So it was put in reasonably well, you know, it was good and strong, but they didn't put it in well at all, and I'll tell you why. I'll show you now. So essentially that piece just there covered this area here. Okay, now like I said, it was in nice and strong, the welds were good, and that's why it looked all mangled. I mean, you can see it's mangled here. So I thought, oh, it's been in the bump, is that definitely. So as I've cut it out, you can see that's the cut lines down here. So I've ground the welds back as much as I could, thinned them out, and then just went through them. So I'll obviously take these back. This is the original inner wing up here. You can see it's been rotten as anything, because obviously it comes down here. This is still the original wing here. That's just a seam that they've welded over it. So it's all rotten down here. Now that patch covered all of that. And then when I peeled it back up here, I could see all this was bent, and I thought, oh, it might have been in a bump, because that didn't look the best. But what's actually happened is when they've fitted it, they've braided it down against here to get it flat, and that's what's mangled that up. And then this part here, you can see some strange cut lines. It was welded around here onto the bit that's been put over. That's been put on the inside, so you can actually see in the inside now that there's some nasty looking welds on the inside of there. So I think the best thing to do really is to cut out here, along here and up, and just completely try and refabricate this piece. And yeah, it's like I say, it's just frustrating, you know. If I think back to 4 days ago, I could have taken this car out on the road and driven it and enjoyed it. And now here I am, I'm looking at months of work, putting stuff right and a ton of money. But it needed it, you know, the scuttle was knackered. I can't paint the car the colour I want to paint it without doing that, and that's what's holding me up. So I suppose there's never a good time for these things to happen. But, you know, there we are, we're going to get on with it, we'll get it sorted out. So I might just keep working away a little bit now, and just maybe get some of these old repair panels out. It's not really enjoyable to watch, it's just a lot of grinding, hammering, chiseling. Yeah, so I will join you next time. I'll update you on where we are. Hopefully I'm at a place where I can start putting some new panels in. See you next time.